The air in the living room felt strange that afternoon. I thought Mom wanted to talk about dinner plans, but the silence was heavy when I walked in. My brother sat stiffly on the couch, and my sister avoided my eyes. Mom stood by the window, her arms folded tight across her chest. "Sit down," she said coldly. Her voice had that edge it used to carry when I got caught sneaking cookies as a kid. I sat. "I can't believe what I've heard about you," she said. "After everything I've done, you turn your back on this family?" Her words hit like bricks. I didn't even know what she meant. "Mom, what are you talking about?" "You know exactly," she snapped. "Don't pretend." I glanced at my siblings, hoping for some hint, some clue, but they kept their heads down. "Until you fix this," she said, "don't contact me again." My breath caught. For a second, I couldn't move. My mother, my biggest supporter, was cutting me off because of something I didn't even understand. I stumbled out of the room, her voice still echoing behind me. Outside, the world looked the same, but my chest burned with confusion. Who started this rumor that tore us apart? The next few days felt endless. Mom ignored my texts. My calls went straight to voicemail. Even my sister's messages, usually full of jokes, were silent. The house felt colder every time I came home. Dinner plates clinked without a single word. I wanted to scream, to force someone to explain, but all I managed was silence. My anger boiled under the surface, mixing with hurt. I walked the neighborhood park in the evenings, hoping to clear my mind. People waved politely, but I could feel whispers following me. Had they heard it too? One night, I knocked on Mom's door after everyone had gone to bed. She didn't answer. I could hear her whispering on the phone. "Just don't tell them I told you," she said to whoever was on the other end. I pressed my ear close, heart thudding, but couldn't make out the rest. The next afternoon, as I stood on the porch, our neighbor Mrs. Lang waved. "It's such a shame," she said softly. "Heard about what happened. Saw someone coming over last week with envelopes." "Envelopes?" I asked. She nodded. "Someone's been feeding your mother things." A chill ran through me. Someone had been delivering messages. Lies maybe. Who, and what were they saying? I couldn't sleep that night. My mind spun around Mrs. Lang's words. Envelopes. Lies. Someone had gone out of their way to poison Mom's trust. The next day, I checked with my sister's friends. One of them, Jenna, looked nervous when I approached. She was the type who knew everything before everyone else. "Jenna," I started carefully, "have you heard anything about me? Something going around?" Her smile faltered. "I don't want to get involved." "That means you know something," I said quietly. Her eyes darted away. Later, scrolling through social media, I noticed she'd liked a few cryptic posts from my sister. A few too pointed to ignore. Could Jenna have started it? Or maybe she told someone who twisted it worse. The thought burned. She used to come to our house for study nights. She'd called Mom her second mother. If she betrayed me, it cut deep. I paced my room, torn. Do I confront her and risk more drama, or gather proof first? A wrong move could make me look even guiltier, but silence was killing me. I looked at my phone, her number glowing on the screen. My thumb hovered over the call button. Should I face her head-on, or wait until I'm armed with truth? I decided to meet Jenna after school. We sat in a quiet cafe near the corner store, the air thick with unsaid things. She looked uneasy. "You wanted to talk?" "Yes," I said. "About what you told my mother." Her cheeks went pale. "I don't know what you mean." "Stop. Jenna. I know you said something. What was it?" She frowned, eyes darting. "Your mom was worried about how you handled money, that's all. I just mentioned you borrowed from someone." "I never borrowed anything," I cut in. "You know that." Her lips trembled slightly. Maybe she misunderstood. I leaned back. Or maybe someone wanted her to misunderstand. Tension filled the table. She grabbed her cup like it could protect her. Look, I didn't say much. Your sister asked questions. Maybe she told your mom herself. My pulse quickened. My sister. She seemed upset about you for some reason. Said you were hiding things. So, Jenna wasn't the full source. Just a piece of it. Still, her story had cracks. She avoided my eyes when I probed further. I left the cafe heavy-hearted but sensing something new. Her slip about my sister wasn't small. It was the clue I needed. That night, I sat on the edge of my bed, phone glowing faintly on my knees. I wanted to confront my sister, to demand an explanation. But before I could, I got an unexpected call. Aunt Lila. I answered, surprised. We hadn't spoken in months. I heard what's happening, she said softly. Your mom's not herself lately. She listens to gossip too much. My chest tightened. Do you know where it came from? There was a pause. Then she whispered, it started with something your sister told an old family friend. They twisted it, turned it ugly. I have the texts. Texts. Evidence. I sat up straight. Can you send them to me? I will, she said. But be careful. Your mother's hurt and defensive. Someone made her believe the worst of you. After the call ended, I stared at my ceiling. The puzzle was forming. Jenna, my sister, and whispers looping through town like wildfire. My aunt's support felt like the first bit of light in weeks. But my heart still ached. Could Mom even be convinced? Or was the lie too deep, already rooted? I swore to myself I'd find out. For now, one thing was certain. I wasn't alone anymore. Mom barely spoke to me the next morning. She moved around the kitchen with robotic grace, stirring her coffee like it was the only thing that mattered. I listened quietly until my sister, Lily, walked in, humming a little too loudly. She kissed Mom's cheek and said, "Don't let him guilt you. You know what he did." Mom flinched. The hum of the fridge filled the silence. What I did? I asked evenly. Lily crossed her arms. It's not worth repeating. I almost responded, but Mom's uneasy glance stopped me. Her eyes showed a flicker of doubt, as if she wasn't completely sure anymore. After breakfast, I caught her standing near the hallway, staring at a framed photo of us from 2 years ago. Mom, I said softly, you really think I'd ever hurt this family? She didn't answer, just pressed her lips together. Then Lily called from the living room. Mom, you left your phone here. When Mom turned, I saw Lily whisper something under her breath, panic on her face, as if she knew Mom had overheard her slip. For the first time, doubt clouded my mother's expression. Maybe she was beginning to question everything. We were supposed to be strangers under the same roof now, but the quiet was heavier than any fight. I needed proof, something undeniable. Aunt Lila had sent me screenshots, conversations where Lily complained about me stealing attention and lying about money. Lies. I read them again and again until my chest tightened. Then I noticed a small detail in one screenshot. Jenna asked for permission to print something before showing Mom. Print what? And where? That question kept me awake until I remembered. The library near the market had free printers. The next day I walked there and spoke to the clerk. Yes, 2 girls printed messages here last month, she said kindly. One was nervous. She said it was proof for a family issue. She showed me the leftover Q file name, transfers.docs. That was enough. The pieces fit perfectly. I stepped into the crisp air outside, holding my phone tightly. I could march home and throw it in Lily's face, or use it differently. Rage begged me to rush. But something colder in me whispered, wait. Sometimes it's smarter to let the truth detonate on its own time. I decided to stay quiet, at least for now. If I wanted justice, I had to be patient. So I made a plan. First, I told Aunt Lila everything I found. She promised to stand by me when the time came. Then, I called 2 friends, Marcus and Claire, who'd been around when all this supposedly happened. They remembered the truth clearly. They agreed to back me up whenever I needed. Next, I started gathering dates, receipts, screenshots, anything that proved the rumor false. Every detail built my wall of truth higher. But I didn't stop there. I visited a few neighbors Mom respected, making casual conversation. Soon, small cracks started forming around the rumor as they remembered details that didn't match Lily's story. Days turned into weeks. Mom started to look tired, unsure, whispering less. Lily, though, acted nervous, checking her phone often, avoiding me at breakfast. I kept calm, hiding my growing collection of evidence. Because when a lie bursts, it shouldn't be a shout, it should be an earthquake. And the ground beneath Lily's feet was starting to tremble. I was in the kitchen one Saturday when it happened. Lily, leaning against the counter, joked to Mom about how guilty people always act innocent. Mom gave a tired smile. "Not everyone lies, dear." "Well," Lily said, "unless they're scared of proof." I dried my hands and said softly, "Proof works both ways." She froze, eyes flicking to Mom. "What's that supposed to mean?" she demanded. "Nothing," I said lightly. "Just that stories change when truth shows up." Her confidence cracked for a second. Mom's forehead wrinkled. "Lily, is there something you want to tell me?" "Oh, come on, Mom. You're not believing him now, are you?" Lily snapped. But Mom didn't answer. I saw her staring at the floor, lost in thought. For the first time, she looked unsure whom to trust. Lily grabbed her purse and left the house in a storm of footsteps. Mom didn't look at me, but her sigh said everything. The rumor that had stood like a wall between us was starting to crumble, brick by brick. Mom hardly spoke that night, pacing the hallway alone. I could hear her footsteps from my room. Each creak of the floorboard made my stomach twist. The next morning, she asked quietly, "You'll be home after work?" "Yes," I said. It sounded small, but my heart leapt. It was the first normal question in weeks. All day I couldn't focus. At dinner she finally said, "I've been thinking. Some things don't add up." I nodded, waiting. "Your sister insists she saw proof, but when I ask to see it, she changes the subject," Mom continued. "What really happened that day everyone keeps talking about?" "There was no day, Mom," I said gently. "It was a story someone made to hurt me." She looked at her hands, guilt flickering across her face. "I don't know what to believe anymore." "That's okay," I said. "Truth doesn't rush." She gave a weak smile before standing. But I noticed tears shine in her eyes before she turned away. Maybe she would finally start listening. To me, and to her own heart. A week passed before I got my chance. Mom was folding laundry in the living room, the TV humming quietly. I took a breath. "Mom, can we talk?" She hesitated, then nodded. "I just need you to hear one thing," I began. "Jenna told you pieces of something Lily said, but they left out everything else. I have messages, proof, that show none of it was real." She frowned, staring at the floor. "Lily wouldn't lie to me." "She already did," I said softly. "And you know it. Otherwise, why do you look so sad every time you see me?" Her eyes glistened. "Because if you're telling the truth, then I've been cruel to my own child." I wanted to hug her, but she stepped back, trembling. I need time." As she turned away, I saw the battle inside her face. Love on one side, pride on the other. I left quietly, heart pounding. Maybe forgiveness was close, or maybe she'd pull back again. Hope and fear twisted together like ropes, and I didn't know which would win first. The following weekend, we gathered at Grandpa's birthday party. Cousins, laughter, and decorations filled the house. I tried to stay invisible. Then Aunt Lila arrived, hugging Grandpa before greeting Mom warmly. Soon, a conversation drifted from small talk to family matters. "So sad about the rumor thing," Aunt Lila said casually. The room went silent. Mom stiffened. We don't need to discuss that. Oh, I think it's worth clearing up, Aunt Lila said gently, pulling out her phone. Since the screenshots exist. Everyone's eyes widened. She opened an image of Lily's messages sharing lies about me. Mom's lips parted, color draining from her face. Lily sputtered. That's fake. She's twisting things. But Grandpa, sharp as ever, frowned. Your own name's on it. Murmurs broke across the room. Mom looked between us, confusion and shame battling across her expression. I just stood there, heart hammering, finally seen. For the first time, the story didn't belong to Lily. The family's eyes, all of them, turned to me. And the truth was finally louder than her lies. The room buzzed with whispers. Lily's face turned red as she stammered. You're all taking sides, you don't know everything. But nobody stopped to comfort her. Even Mom stayed silent, eyes fixed on me. I took a breath. I never wanted this scene. I just wanted peace. Lily glared. You're pretending to be innocent. I don't need to pretend, I said quietly. Time already showed who's honest. A hush fell. Grandpa coughed, and the tension cracked slightly. Mom excused herself to the porch, trembling. I followed a moment later. She whispered, I don't know what's true anymore. Then start with what you feel, I said gently. Did I ever treat you like I didn't care? She shook her head slowly. Then believe that part until the rest makes sense. Behind us, through the window, Lily paced angrily, trying to rebuild sympathy with whoever would listen. But few did. The scales had tipped, but would they stay balanced? Lily wasn't done fighting. A few days after the party, another storm brewed. While digging through an old cabinet, Mom found a letter, Dad's will, written years earlier. Inside it, he'd mentioned both of us. He'd written that he hoped I'd handle family finances one day because of my honesty. When Mom showed it to me, her hands shook. I forgot this even existed, she murmured. The irony hung heavy between us. Lily had accused me of stealing from family funds, the very thing Dad had trusted me not to do. For the first time, Mom laughed sadly. Maybe I got everything backward. The letter didn't just expose the lie. It reminded her of who I'd always been. Later that night, she cooked my favorite meal, simple but heartfelt, though she didn't say it was an apology. We ate quietly. The silence wasn't cold anymore. It was tired, healing. But deep down, I knew one thing. Truth was winning. And Lily, now isolated from the family chat group, was watching everything slip away, piece by piece. Mom asked me to walk with her in the park that weekend. The air was light with early spring. She held her coat close, eyes fixed ahead. I may have been wrong, she said finally. I believed others before I even listened to you. My throat tightened. I just wanted you to trust me again. She stopped walking, looked at me painfully. I don't expect forgiveness right away. But I need you to know how sorry I am. I saw the tears she tried to hide. 4 months, I'd wanted this moment, to see doubt crack into guilt, then into love again. But seeing her so broken hurt more than anger ever had. I forgive you, I said, voice shaking. But things can't go back right away. I understand, she whispered. The breeze tugged at her hair as she added, I'll make things right, you'll see. As we walked home, I realized forgiveness wasn't a door that swung open once. It was a slow, creaky hinge that needed time to move. Could we rebuild what gossip tried to burn? After our talk, Mom's attitude shifted quietly. But something else changed too. People began ignoring Lily. At Aunt Lila's the next Sunday, Lily tried to chatter about her new job, but no one cared much. The warmth she used to command was gone. Later she pulled me aside. So you're happy now? You ruined me. I stared at her. You did that yourself. She rolled her eyes but looked doubtful. For the first time, I saw fear there, not anger. In the following days, friends stopped replying to her posts. Invitations disappeared. Even Jenna avoided her in hallways. She spent more time at home, quiet, replaying memories of her own actions, I guessed. Mom tried to reach out, but Lily brushed her off. Maybe she finally understood how isolation felt. Watching her shrink under the weight of her own lies wasn't joyful, it was sad. But maybe sadness was the only language she'd finally understand. Still, one question burned. Why had she started it all? What did she gain from destroying me? I got my answer one late evening. Lily sat on the porch steps, staring into the dark. I joined her silently. She spoke first. You want to know why, right? I nodded. Tears slid down her face. Mom was always so proud of you. Your grades, your work. I got tired of feeling second best. Then Jenna joked that one story could make people see you differently. At first, I thought it was harmless. My heart ached. So you did it out of jealousy. She nodded weakly. And once Mom believed it, I didn't know how to undo it without looking worse. I sighed, feeling anger and pity mixed together. You didn't need to compete, Lily. You just had to be honest. She covered her face, sobbing quietly. Mom opened the door, watching from behind the screen, her expression filled with pain. For the first time, she saw the full picture. The truth wasn't just out, it had a face, a reason, and a breaking heart attached. Mom and I sat in the living room the next day. The morning light spilled softly across the floor. I can't erase what I did, she murmured. But I can try to understand how it felt. So I told her. I explained the nights I'd cried trying to figure out why she stopped loving me. How every silence felt like a punishment for a crime I didn't commit. Tears filled her eyes. I broke my own child's heart, she whispered. I shook my head. Gossip broke it. You just helped it along without realizing. She reached for my hand. He's hesitant, then firmer. You're stronger than I ever thought. I had to be, I said quietly. For a long time, neither of us spoke. The room felt fuller somehow, like it had air again. When she finally did speak, it was a vow. Whatever it takes, I'll fix this. People will know I was wrong about you. But forgiveness wasn't about the people outside. It was about the two of us, and the space between hurt and healing. That week, my plan reached its end. I placed the last piece of evidence, a printed email from Jenna accidentally confirming Lily's lie, on the kitchen counter. I didn't have to say a word. Mom found it herself that evening. Mom called Lily in, shaking. Explain this. Lily read the page, went pale, and sank into a chair. It's real, she whispered. Jenna sent it before I could stop her. Mom covered her mouth, sobs breaking through. All this time, I defended you while hurting him. I stood near the doorway, not proud, just relieved. Proof had spoken louder than arguing ever could. Mom turned to me. I owe you more than an apology. Just honesty, I said. Her arms wrapped around me suddenly, trembling with regret. I let her cry into my shoulder. Sometimes winning doesn't feel like victory. It feels like release. The truth hurt, but it also healed. At last, the wound had a chance to close. Mom insisted on gathering the whole family that Sunday. We sat around the dining table. Aunt Lila, Grandpa, cousins, even Lily. Mom cleared her throat. I need to say this in front of everyone. Her voice shook but stayed steady enough. The rumors about my son were lies. I believed things I shouldn't have, hurt him in ways I can never undo. She looked directly at me. I'm sorry. No one breathed. Grandpa nodded approvingly. Lily rubbed her eyes but said nothing. I answered quietly, Thank you, Mom. Tears shimmered across faces around the table. It wasn't dramatic, just raw and real. Relief washed through me like sunlight after endless rain. But even in that peace, conflict hummed. Lily still couldn't own her full guilt. Her silence was loud enough for everyone to hear. Maybe her reckoning wasn't finished yet. By the next month, Lily's world looked smaller. Co-workers gave her polite smiles but kept their distance. Family chats carried short, cautious replies when she joined. One afternoon, I overheard her crying in her room. "I lost everyone," she whispered to herself. Part of me wanted to comfort her, but maybe this was the weight she had to carry. Mom couldn't stand it and stepped in gently, reminding her that truth is the only bridge back. Lily nodded but didn't answer. Days later, she finally apologized to me again, this time without excuses. "I was selfish," she said. "If you can't forgive me, I understand." "I already forgave you," I replied. "But trust takes time." She nodded through tears. For the first time, I wasn't the broken one. The storm had shifted, and the cost of deceit was no longer mine to pay. In the weeks that followed, life slowed down. Mom leaned on me more for family decisions, asking my opinion before others. Neighbors who once whispered now stopped me to chat kindly, embarrassed smiles on their faces. I didn't need revenge. The calm itself felt powerful. One night Mom said, "You've handled this with grace I didn't deserve." I smiled faintly. "Maybe that's the point. You taught me strength, even through pain." Lily listened from the hallway, eyes red. None of us mentioned it, but we all felt the shift. Being trusted again didn't make me arrogant. It made me careful. Power isn't loud. It's knowing the truth and not needing to prove it anymore. Still, forgiveness and caution can live side by side. And that balance felt like peace. Spring turned to summer. Mom and I spent more time together. Shopping, cooking, small things that built new memories. One evening she said, "Can we start fresh?" I hesitated, then nodded. "As long as we don't forget what happened." "That's fair," she said. Forgetting would mean wasting the lesson. We sat on the porch watching the sunset melt into shades of orange. The wounds hadn't vanished, but they didn't control us anymore. "Thank you for giving me another chance," she whispered. "I gave us both one," I said. In the distance, Lily's laughter joined ours faintly from inside. Maybe time was doing what words couldn't. Even broken things, given patience, can hold beauty again. It just takes care, and honest light. Months passed. Lily slowly regained pieces of trust, though Mom kept firm boundaries. One rainy night we sat together, all three of us, sipping tea. "I won't pretend it didn't happen," Mom said. "But maybe we can move forward with rules. Truth first, feelings second." I nodded. "That's all I ever wanted." Lily sniffled. "Can I be part of that too?" "Earn it," Mom said softly, not cruelly. "Step by step." The firmness in her tone surprised me, and warmed me. For once, Mom wasn't blinded by charm or gossip. She'd learned. The storm had broken her pride, but rebuilt her wisdom. Peace doesn't mean softness. Sometimes it means courage wrapped in kindness. Our family wasn't perfect now, but it was honest. 25. By autumn, the rumor was an old ghost no one cared to remember. Lily enrolled in night classes, working hard to change her image. Mom spent weekends volunteering again, smiling more freely. As for me, I'd found quiet strength in truth. At dinner one evening Mom said, "Funny how lies fade but lessons stay." I smiled. Maybe that's how consequences work, not as punishment, but memory. She nodded thoughtfully. Later, I looked through the window at the stars and thought about that first day, the look on her face when she cut me off. It felt distant now, like a dream that lost its power. We'd all changed. Pain had carved space for understanding. Yet whenever silence filled the house, I could still hear the echo of that rumor, the spark that burned but also lit our way back. Perhaps some fires destroy, and others teach. This one did both.